them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent, gotta kiss myself.
Hi kids, welcome to today's video about maps and globes. Okay, today we're going to find out about how maps and globes show us information about the Earth's surface. We're going to see how map makers show the Earth's round surface on flat maps, and we're going to learn how to read maps. So this could be a review for you, it could also be some new material. Alright, so our first question is, what's a geographer? And you have notes there in front of you. A geographer is a person who studies the surface of the Earth. So a geographer is not going to study man-made features. He or she are going to study physical features like volcanoes, deserts, rivers, mountains, those types of things. Geographers help make the globes and maps that provide information about the natural and human-made features of the Earth. Okay, so a geographer could make a map that has man-made features on it, but they're not going to really study those features in depth. Globes have the strength or advantage of accurately showing the round shape of the Earth. So the only picture that we can get of the Earth that is absolutely perfect is a globe. Now I know that you see the spinning picture in the corner and you say, but that looks pretty perfect. It does. But the difference is that I cannot stop that image at any time and see the Earth perfectly, okay? And the round shape, being able to hold the round shape of the globe in my hand makes it a perfect representation of the Earth. So what I like to do is I carry around a globe in my car wherever I go. That way, when I get lost, I know where I can go. What, that doesn't make sense? No, it doesn't make sense because the globe has weaknesses. It has weaknesses about showing a large surface feature. It only shows the Earth as a whole. I can look at Australia, the entire continent, but I can't tell where in Australia I need to go if I'm lost inside the city of Sydney. They are very difficult to carry around. I used to carry around a globe in my back pocket wherever I went, but it got really annoying, okay? That's actually not true. They do not show enough details, so it's not going to show you individual roads. It's not going to show you where you can go if you get lost in your car. So that means that a flat map is easier to transport and easier to use than a globe. So what is the disadvantage of a map? The disadvantage of the map is that by taking the Earth that is round and making it flat, you take the images that are on that round globe and you make it so that they are distorted. The features come out as being too small, too large, or simply out of place. So that is distortion. When you take this round object over here and you try to bend it and flatten it out so that it's flat, you get distortion. And distortion is the loss of accuracy in size or shape on a map. So if I try to take this round Earth and however I do it, however I change it, I'm going to end up with the size and shape of the Earth changed in some way, or a distorted image. That is distortion. So, how do geographers deal with distortion? They create what's called projections. And projections are images that deal with distortion in different ways in order to make something good happen. For example, This is a Mercator map. So on number 5 on your notes, this kind of map is good because the lines of longitude and latitude are straight. It shows correct shapes, but not correct sizes. So for example, look at the size of Antarctica. It is huge, and it's huge because at the bottom of the world, those lines of longitude come together and intersect, which makes the grid smaller. So you have to take that image and you have to stretch it out and make it bigger. That is Antarctica and what it looks like down here. Now we know that Antarctica is not bigger than all of the continents combined. Okay. Now the number one way to tell if an image is distorted or not is actually the country of Greenland. I want you to look at the country of Greenland right here. And I want you to look at this country of Libya. Now, if you look at, or I'm sorry, I think that's Algeria. Yeah. So Greenland here is way bigger than even the continent of Africa. It's even bigger than South America. We'll take a look at that. So here you see Greenland, and it's huge. It's stretched out to the sides to where it's bigger than South America. But if you look at it here on this map, you see the actual size. This distorted map or projection is an equal area projection. It shows the correct size of the landmass, but their shapes are altered. So if you look at South America, or if you look at Australia, or if you look at Alaska over here, you see that the shape is changed, but their size in relationship to each other is the same. Now, here is the Robinson projection. The Robinson projection is the best one. This is used by the National Geographic. It's created because it shows the world's distances, sizes, and shapes accurately. But there is some distortion around the poles and the edges. So if you look at Antarctica and if you look at the top, there is some distortion there. That is not perfect. But this shows distance, size, and shape the most accurately. So if you look at a Robinson projection, here you see Greenland. This is the correct size and shape and its relationship to Algeria. Now, you're asking yourselves, and I heard questions all week, what does an orange have to do? Why do we need to bring in an orange? An orange like the fruit? When do we have to bring it in? Well, it has to be brought in by Monday, and you're going to find out. Now, what are the parts of a map? And this should be review. A compass rose shows direction on a map. Here you see the compass rose. It's going to show you north, south, east, and west. Many of you use this when we did longitude and latitude. There is a scale bar right here. This scale bar is going to allow you to take a ruler and measure the distance and how far it is on this map. So here you see that this distance right here is equal to 100 miles. Therefore, I could go on and look at North Carolina and measure how far North Carolina is to Macon, Georgia. And I could get an approximate or roundabout amount of miles between North Carolina and Macon. Now, this entire thing, the map key, is going to show you what the different symbols and colors on a map indicate, such as borders, roads, and cities. So we have a map key, we have a scale bar, and we also had a compass rose. All right, so if you look at the key, what do the red squares mean according to this map's key? You need to write that down on your paper. Also, about how many kilometers is it from Madame Tussauds to the British Museum according to the scale bar? You can just take your fingers and use a guesstimate. Make sure that you're going kilometers and not miles. Okay, when you are done with this, you are to work on your Ed puzzle, which is your assignment for tonight. Adios.